The Netherlands national football team represents the Netherlands in international association football. It is controlled by the Royal Netherlands Football Association, the governing body for football in the Netherlands. The team is colloquially referred to as Het Nederlands Elftal and Oranje, after the House of Orange-Nassau. Like the country itself, the team is sometimes referred to as Holland. The official code to Netherlands is NED. The Dutch hold the record for playing the most World Cup finals without ever winning the tournament. They finished second in the 1974, 1978, and 2010 World Cups, losing to West Germany, Argentina, and Spain respectively. They won the UEFA European Championship in 1988. The team is currently managed by Louis van Gaal, but he has announced he will leave after the 2014 FIFA World Cup, to be replaced by Guus Hiddink, who had previously managed the team during the late 1990s. History. The Netherlands played their first international match in Antwerp against Belgium on April 30, 1905. The players were selected by a 5-member commission from the Dutch Football Association. After 90 minutes, the score was 1-1, but because the match was for a trophy, the game went into extra time, in which Eddy de Neve scored 3 times, making the score 4-1 for the Dutch side. The Netherlands made their first appearance at the World Cup final tournament in 1934. After a second appearance in 1938 they did not appear in another World Cup until 1974. Total football in the 1970s. The 1970s saw the invention of total football, pioneered by Feyenoord and Ajax and led by playmaker Johan Cruyff and national team coach Rinus Michels. The Dutch made huge strides, qualifying for 2 World Cup finals in the decade. The captain of the Brazilian team that won the 1970 FIFA World Cup, Carlos Alberto, went on to say the only team Euro unregistered trademark they seen that did things differently was Holland at the 1974 World Cup in Germany. Since then everything looks more or less the same to me Euro. Their Euro carousel Euro unregistered trademark style of play was amazing to watch and marvelous for the game. In 1974, the Netherlands beat both Brazil and Argentina in the second group stage, reaching the final for the first time in their history. However, the team lost to West Germany in the final in Munich, despite having gone 1-0 up through Johan Neresken's early penalty kick before any German had even touched the ball. However, supported by the crowd, a converted penalty by Paul Breitner and the winner from Gerd Maar 1/4 led to a victory for the Germans. By comparison, Euro 76 was a disappointment. The Netherlands lost in the semi-finals to Czechoslovakia, as much because of fighting within the squad and the coach George Knebel, as well as the skill of the eventual winners. In 1978, the Netherlands again reached the final of a World Cup, only to be beaten by the host, this time Argentina. This side played without Johan Cruyff, Willem van Hanegem, and Jan van Beveren, who refused to participate in the World Cup. It still contained Johan Nereskens, Johnny Rep, Arie Haan, Ruud Krol, Wim Jansen, Jan Jongbloed, Wim Soyabia and Rob Rensenbrink from the 1974 selection. The Netherlands were less impressive in the group stages. They qualified as runners-up, after a draw with Peru and a loss to Scotland. In the second group phase, however, the Netherlands topped a group including Italy and West Germany, setting up a final with Argentina. However, the Dutch finished as runners-up for the second World Cup in a row as they ultimately lost 3-1 after 2 extra-time goals from Argentina. Unfortunately for the Dutch, Rensenbrink hit the Argentinian post in the last minute of normal time, with the score 1-1. Failure. 1982 Euro 86 Euro 80 was the last tournament for which the total football team qualified, but they did not advance past the group stage, despite the tournament format being expanded that year. Veterans such as Krol and Rensenbrink retired soon afterwards and the Netherlands missed the 1982 World Cup, Euro 84, and the 1986 World Cup in succession. Qualification for Euro 1984 was within reach, but the Dutch ended the campaign on the same number of points as rivals Spain, and the same goal difference. Spain advanced having scored 2 more goals. The failure to reach the 1986 World Cup was also very close. In a playoff with neighbours Belgium, the Netherlands lost 1-0 in Brussels, but were leading 2-0 in the home leg in Rotterdam with a few minutes remaining. Belgium scored to end the tie 2-1, and overall playoff 2-2. Belgium advanced on the away goal rule. European champions. Rinus Michels returned to coach the team for the Euro '88 tournament. After losing the first group match against the Soviet Union, the Netherlands qualified for the semi-final by defeating England 3-1, and Republic of Ireland. For many Dutch football supporters, the most important match in the tournament was the semi-final against West Germany, the host country, considered a revenge for the lost 1974 World Cup final. Marco van Basten scored in the 89th minute to sink the German side. The Netherlands won the final with a victory over the USSR through a header by Ruud Gullit and a volley by Van Basten. This was the national team's first major tournament win, and it restored them to the forefront of international football for the next 3 years after almost a decade in the wilderness. Despite high expectations as the team entered the 1990 World Cup, the tournament was not a success, as strife within the squad and managerial instability ultimately tore the team apart. Van Basten failed to score, as he was frequently marked by opposing defenders, while Gullit was ineffective having not fully recovered from injury. The Dutch managed to advance despite drawing all 3 group games, meeting their arch-rivals West Germany in the round of 16. The match is most remembered for the spitting incident involving Frank Rijkaard and Rudy van Paragraaf as the Netherlands lost 2-1. The team reached the semi-finals in the Euro '92, which was noted for the emergence of Dennis Bergkamp, but they were eliminated by eventual champions Denmark, with Van Basten's kick in the penalty shootout being saved by Peter Schmeichel. This was to be Van Basten's last major tournament as he suffered a serious ankle injury shortly after, eventually conceding defeat and retiring at the age of 30 in 1995. It was also the last hurrah for Rinus Michels, who returned for one final spell in charge of the team before retiring for good after the tournament ended. Dick Advocaat took over from Michels on the understanding that he himself would be replaced by Johan Cruijff the following year, although Advocaat actually stayed in charge for over 2 years. In the 1994 World Cup, in the absence of the injured Van Basten and the striking Gullit, Dennis Bergkamp led the team with 3 goals and the Netherlands advanced to the quarter-finals, where they lost 3-2 to eventual champions Brazil. 1996 Euro 2004, at Euro '96, after drawing 0-0 with Scotland and beating Switzerland 2-0, they faced the hosts England in the Pool A decider, with both teams on 4 points. After 62 minutes, with Scotland beating Switzerland 1-0, the Netherlands were 4-0 down and looked like finishing third behind Scotland on goal difference and going out of the tournament, but Patrick Kluivert converted a Dennis Bergkamp assist and scored in the 78th minute to see the Dutch finish second on goals scored. They then played France in the quarter-finals, drawing 0-0 and being eliminated 5-4 on penalties. In the 1998 World Cup, Netherlands, whose team included Mark Overmars, Philip Cocu, Edgar Davids, Frank de Boer, Ronald de Boer, and Patrick Kluivert, met Argentina in the quarter-final, a rematch of the 1978 final. The Netherlands won 2-1 after a Bergkamp goal in the 89th minute. Bergkamp's goal was famous because of its quality. He touched down a 60-yard pass from Frank de Boer, then reverse-fecked it inside Roberto Ayala and finally volleyed it past the Argentine goalkeeper. In the semi-final, the Netherlands took Brazil to a penalty shootout after a late Kluivert goal tied the match 1-1, but Brazil won the shootout 4-2 and advanced to the final. Netherlands lost the third-place match 2-1 to Croatia. Soon after the World Cup exit, manager Guus Hiddink resigned after 2 tournaments in charge, and was replaced by legendary ex-midfielder Frank Rijkaard. Netherlands co-hosted Euro 2000 with Belgium and were one of the favourites coming into the tournament. Getting all 3 wins in the group stage, including a win over France, they then defeated Yugoslavia 6-1 in the quarter-finals. In the semi-finals, their opponents, Italy, went down to 10 men in the first half. Italian goalkeeper Francesco Toldo made 2 saves in the shootout to eliminate the Netherlands. Dennis Bergkamp retired from the national team after Euro 2000. Coach Frank Rijkaard was widely criticised by the press after the defeat to the Italians, as the Dutch had squandered several chances to kill the game. Rijkaard resigned, with Louis van Gaal taking over. Van Gaal is credited with initially bringing through the backbone of this Dutch side whilst manager of Ajax during the mid-90s, including Edwin van der Sar, Edgar Davids, Michael Reiziger, Clarence Seedorf, Mark Overmars, Patrick Kluivert and the De Boer twins. Surprisingly, the Netherlands failed to qualify for the 2002 World Cup, with crucial losses to Portugal and the Republic of Ireland, the latter of which eliminated them from the finals tournament. Van Gaal resigned at the conclusion of the Netherlands' unsuccessful campaign. Dick Advocaat returned to coach the Netherlands for a second time and led the team to the semi-finals of Euro 2004 but lost to Portugal and, after receiving criticism for his tactics and player changes, stepped down. This was to be the end for many of the team's World Cup veterans Frank and Ronald de Boer, Edgar Davids, Clarence Seedorf, Mark Overmars, Jaap Stam, and Patrick Kluivert had either retired or were not selected for the upcoming World Cup by new coach Marco van Basten. 2006 Euro 2010, the Netherlands qualified for the 2006 World Cup in Germany and finished second in Group C after beating Serbia and Montenegro in the KNVB and drawing Argentina. Both Argentina and the Netherlands finished the group stage with 7 points, but the Argentinians had a superior goal difference and finished first as a result. The Dutch were eliminated in the second round after losing 1-0 to Portugal, in a match that produced 16 yellow cards and set a new World Cup record of 4 red cards and was nicknamed the Battle of Nuremberg by the press. Despite criticism surrounding his selection policy and the lack of attacking football from his team, Marco van Basten was offered a 2-year extension to his contract by the Dutch FA, which would allow him to serve as national coach during Euro 2008 and the 2010 World Cup. The move was widely regarded as a vote of confidence in Van Basten and his assistants by the KNVB officials. The Dutch team was a participant in Euro 2008, the group of death, together with France, Italy, and Romania. They began Euro 2008 with a 3-0 win over World Cup champion Italy in Bern on June 9, 2008. This was the Netherlands' first victory over Italy since 1978. In their second group match against France on June 13, 2008, the Netherlands won convincingly with a 4-1 score. The Dutch closed out an incredible group stage campaign with a 2-0 win over Romania. However, they lost in the quarter-final to former coach GUS Hiddinks Russia by 3-1, despite a late 86th-minute equaliser by Ruud van Nistelrooy. Under new coach Bert van Marwijk, the Dutch team went on to secure a 100% record in their World Cup 2010 qualification campaign, and qualifying for the World Cup. The World Cup draw saw the Dutch being placed alongside Denmark, Cameroon and Japan in Group E. The Dutch won 2-0 against Denmark in their opener at the World Cup. They then beat Japan 1-0. They qualified for the round of 16. In the first knockout round they faced Slovakia. At the end it was 2-1 victory. They advanced to the semi-finals with a 2-1 victory over the favoured Brazilians. Brazil, who had held a 1-0 lead at the half, was the favourite to win the cup, had never lost in 37 World Cup matches in which they had held a half-time lead. In the semi-final the Dutch beat Uruguay 3-2 to advance to their first World Cup final since 1978. The Dutch lost to Spain 1-0 after midfielder Andres Iniesta scored in extra time. The Dutch team was criticised for its rough play in the final, and was given 9 yellow cards in the single game. Johan Cruyff later publicly criticised the team for playing in an ugly and vulgar style. The Associated Press was of the opinion that the Dutch had turned far too often to dirty tactics. This final also became Giovanni van Bronckhorst's last match in professional football. From August to September 2011, the team was ranked number 1 in the FIFA World Rankings, thus becoming the second national football team, after Spain, to top the rankings without previously winning a World Cup. Euro 2012, Netherlands was placed in Group B along with Germany, Portugal, and Denmark, thus making it the group of death. The Netherlands lost to Denmark 0-1, lost to Germany 1-2, and finally lost to Portugal 1-2 and exited the competition. Johan Cruyff criticised the team's star players of poor build-up play and sloppy execution of the easy passes. 2014 FIFA World Cup. In the 2014 World Cup UEFA qualifying round, the Netherlands won 13 games and drew 1, topping the group and earning automatic qualification. They were drawn into Group B, along with Spain, Chile and Australia. They avenged their loss from 4 years ago with an incredible beating of Spain 5-1 in their opening match, with Arjen Robben and Robin van Persie scoring 2 goals each, and Stefan de Vrij scoring 1. The second match against Australia was won in comeback fashion after the Dutch team trailed Australia 2-1. The match concluded with the Netherlands defeating Australia 3-2 thanks to goals from Arjen Robben and Robin van Persie either side of Australia's 2, with Memphis Depay scoring the game winner. Their final group match against Chile was a stalemate until Leroy Fer scored in the 77th minute and Memphis Depay scored again in stoppage time to win the game 2-0 and clinch first place in Group B. The Netherlands defeated Mexico in the round of 16 by a score of 2-1. Wesley Sneijder and Klaas-Jan Huntelaar both scored late to propel the Netherlands into the quarter-finals where they faced Costa Rica. After drawing 0-0 after extra time, the Dutch won the penalty shootout 4-3 and booked a place in the semi-finals against Argentina. Keeper Tim Krul was brought on just before the end of extra time, marking the first time in FIFA World Cup history a goalkeeper was brought onto the field solely to participate in a shootout. However, in the match against Argentina in which no goals were scored, they lost 2-4 on penalties. Team image, colours. The Netherlands national football team famously plays in bright orange shirts. Orange is the historic national colour of the Netherlands, originating from one of the many titles of the ruling head of state, Prince of Orange, which is also the colour of the same name. The current Dutch away shirt is blue. Nike is the kit provider to the national team, a sponsorship that began in 1998 and is contracted to continue until at least 2026. Rivalries. Netherlands' long-time football rivals are Germany. The rivalry is one of the few long-standing football rivalries at a national level. Beginning in 1974 when the Dutch lost the 1974 FIFA World Cup to West Germany in the final, the rivalry between the two nations has become one of the best-known international football rivalries in the world. Kits evolution, home, away, coaching staff. Current squad. The following 23 players were named for the 2014 FIFA World Cup squad. Caps and goals updated as July 9, 2014 after the match against Argentina. Recent call-ups, the following players have been called up for the team in the last 12 months. Notes: INJ player withdrew from the squad due to an injury. Previous squads, results and fixtures. For all past match results of the national team, see the team's results page. The following matches were played or are scheduled to be played by the national team in the current or upcoming seasons. Records. Competitive record, FIFA World Cup. AAA champions, AAA runners-up, AAA third place, AAA fourth place, Summer Olympics, UEFA European Championship, honours. FIFA World Cup, 2014. Runners-up, 1974, 1978, 2010, 4th place, 1998. UEFA European Championship, winners 1988, 3rd place semi-final 1976, 1992, 2000, 2004. Olympic football tournament. Bronze medal 3rd place, 1908, 1912, 1920, 4th place, 1924. See also: Netherlands national under-21 football team, Netherlands national under-19 football team, Netherlands national under-17 football team, Netherlands women's national football team, Royal Dutch Football Association, Aruba national football team, Curela Section O national football team, Sint Maarten national football team, References. External links: Dutch, Onze Oranje, official site, Netherlands, record international players at the RSSSF archive, Dutch national team coaches at the RSSSF archive, Dutch, Voetbalstats NL, statistics of the national football team.